A casual take with your boy Stephen Pepper, here to give a take off my chest. There's an NBA team that I think's been one of the biggest losers of the offseason so far, and yet no one is talking about them. They get constantly penciled in as one of the top contenders in the league, despite being flawed, and they lost in the first round last year. And it's the Milwaukee Bucks. I know, the Milwaukee Bucks, I know, but they're old, they're slow, and they don't play defense. And this offseason, the team has done nothing to address the issue. Now, they do have two things going for them to be better next year. Number one, what's up? What's up, little game, Rob? Number one, they get another season of Giannis and Dame healthy to establish chemistry. And number two, they get a full season of Doc Rivers with no coaching turmoil. But none of those issues fix what the roster is. But none of those factors help what's wrong with the roster itself. This team needs an athletic 3-and-D guard next to Lillard and Middleton because they're old, slow, and don't play defense. And instead, they're running the same damn lineup back out there, this time without their starting shooting guard, Malik Beasley, who's a good shooter for them. They botched their first-round draft pick, selecting a kid from Australia who barely played over there. And all the other good 3-and-D guys have either been traded or signed in free agency, but it's okay because they got Taurean Prince. I don't care what the numbers say. Listen, I watched every millisecond of the Lakers last season. I don't care how much time Taurean Prince spent guarding the team's best player. I watched every single millisecond of the Lakers last season. Good luck. This team's old, slow. They play no defense, and they did nothing about it. Now, offensively, this team's fine. And that's why they're viewed as contenders. This team is one of the best in the league. I mean, for all last season, they were floating around as a top 5 offense. Because whenever you have the duo of Dame and Giannis is an MVP in his prime, proven champion, can get you 30 a night. Dame is one of the best scorers and shooters in league history. That duo can get you about 60 to 70 points in a given night. They did that a lot last season as to why they lost many games. The offense is fine. And they also have a lot of pieces around their duo of Dame and Giannis who are great offensively. Chris Middleton, this playoff against Indiana, was giving you about 20 to 30 a night. I think that trio, Middleton, Lillard, and Giannis, last season per 100 possessions was like plus 16.8, something about that I saw. And then Bobby Portis is a 6-man of the year candidate. He's about 14 a game. And then Brook Lopez can still hit a deep 3 or 2. But that's offense. But there's another half of basketball that we know in 2024, defense wins championships. And the Bucks are a below-average defense. You need to be average to win a title in 2024. With all the spacing and all the shooters and all the perimeter talent, they don't have that. They don't have that defense. And that's why I was critical of the Bucks. If you were a longtime listener of this show, since the start of last year to when they lost in the first round, I said their demise is going to be their defense. They were a bottom 10 defense for most of last year. And that's why they lost to Indiana. I get Giannis didn't play at all that series, and Lillard dealt with some issues, and they had the coaching change midseason with Doc Rivers. But even if Giannis played, I said they would still lose to Indiana because they lost the season series to Indiana. I think they got swept because it was a bad matchup for them. Indiana was a great offense with perimeter talent, shooting, spacing, and speed. That's a nightmare for the Bucks. But they're going to face that on their path to the title, and they did nothing to fix that. Now, Doc Rivers, I was pro the hiring of Doc Rivers because I thought Doc Rivers would be better for their defense than Adrian Griffin. And it did show slightly. They are a slightly better defensive team with Doc Rivers, but that's still not good enough. They were still a below average defense. And now they go into next year with Dame's a year older at 34. Middleton's a year older. You have Pat Connaughton. You got a bunch of 30-year-olds who aren't known to play defense out there on the perimeter. Though they're not going to turn into all NBA defenders and have your first line of wave defense all of a sudden lock up like you got Drew Holiday out there like you used to do. And this is a concern because the Bucks are a championship or bust team. You make the move for Dame and Giannis to give Giannis another quality star-level scorer because you missed that in the playoffs the last couple of years to win a championship. Since you won in 2021, you've had championship expectations. They're not like the Pacers. They cannot settle for anything less than a championship. No, they cannot flex a conference finals appearance. It's championship or bust. So on the path to a championship, you're going to run into a bunch of teams that have dynamic, young, MVP, all NBA level players in their prime on the perimeter. Boston's got 2 with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Maxey in Philly. Brunson in New York. Halliburton in Indiana. Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland. Then out west, who you'll see in the battle for the Larry O, SGA and OKC. You got Luka and Kyrie in Dallas. Jamal Murray in Denver. You got guys there. You got Bradley Beal. You got company out there, Kevin Durant, a lot of perimeter talent that you're going to have to face on the path to the title. And Milwaukee does not have, they're not equipped to stop those people. Their offense is going to be fine. And that's why I think Milwaukee is still somewhat of a contender. But how big of the contending pie does the Milwaukee own? It's very small than what people think, because you think with Dame, Giannis, that offense, those names, the Milwaukee Bucks, who we just pencil in, they own a decent chunk of the championship pie. In my opinion, it's going to be quite like last season, where they have this great offense, but their offense is going to have to win them a lot of games. And then ultimately, this is going to probably hold them out of contention, just like it did last year. They'll be a bit better because they'll be healthier, but without a defense, without perimeter foot speed, the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be trouble yet again. And that's why I think they're one of the biggest offseason losers so far, but no one's talking about them because it's the Milwaukee Bucks. But I appreciate everyone for tuning into this episode of A Casual Take. Follow all my social media, Some Casual Takes, to stay updated on all things related to the show. Until next time, see you.